The crystalline halls of the Galactic Council chamber buzzed with anxious energy, as ambassadors from 1,000 worlds gathered for an unprecedented summons. Sicilica, the lead diplomat of the Terran Dominion, stood at the grand entrance with measured confidence, her silver ceremonial armor gleaming under the bioluminescent lights. Beside her, Groot, her military advisor and childhood friend, scanned the crowd with tactical precision, his augmented vision cataloging every species, every exit, every potential threat. "They fear us," Groot murmured, his voice barely audible through their neural link. "Good," Sicilica replied, a slight smile playing at her lips. "They should." 500 years had passed since the Galactic Council had made their greatest mistake. Sicilica had studied the ancient records obsessively, how humanity, in its infancy of space exploration, had been deemed too aggressive, too unpredictable, too dangerous to join the galactic community. The Council had voted unanimously. Humanity would be quarantined to their solar system, surrounded by a quantum barrier that prevented any ship from entering or leaving. They had called it protective isolation. Humanity called it exile. The Council's supreme chancellor, a towering Vexari with iridescent scales, raised its 6 arms for silence. "We have summoned you here," it began, its voice resonating through translation matrices, "because the barrier around the Sol system has fallen." Murmurs of confusion rippled through the assembly. The quantum barriers were supposed to be eternal, powered by the fundamental forces of the universe itself. Sicilica stepped forward, her boots echoing in the sudden silence. "It didn't fall," she announced, her voice carrying the weight of centuries of human determination. "We dismantled it." From the inside, the chamber erupted in chaos. Species that had existed for millions of years, civilizations that had mastered technologies beyond comprehension, all stared in disbelief at the human woman before them. "Impossible," shrieked a Methanian ambassador, its gaseous form swirling with agitation. "The barrier required exotic matter manipulation at quantum levels we've barely theorized." Groot allowed himself a grim smile. "You locked us in a cage and forgot that humans are very good at picking locks, especially when we have 500 years and nothing but motivation." Sicilica activated her holo display, and the air above the council floor shimmered into life. Images appeared, vast shipyards orbiting Jupiter, massive Titan-forged weapons platforms, entire asteroid belts converted into autonomous drone factories. But it wasn't the military might that caused gasps of horror. It was what came next: fleets of sleek vessels bearing unfamiliar insignias, species the Council had never encountered, races from beyond the galactic rim, from dark nebulae thought uninhabitable, from dimensional pockets in space-time itself. "While you left us to rot," Sicilica continued, her voice hardening, "we learned, we adapted. We discovered that your precious barrier wasn't just keeping us in, it was keeping you out. So we couldn't reach you, but we could reach everywhere else." She expanded the hologram, revealing a 3-dimensional map. The Council's territory glowed in fading blue. A shrinking island in a sea of expanding red, the Terran Dominion's new empire. "We found the Krell in the void between stars," Groot explained, taking over the presentation. "Exiles like us deemed too warlike by ancient councils. We found the Zinthar, gaseous entities you never discovered because you were afraid to explore radiation zones. We found the mechanical sentience of Kepler 442b, abandoned by organic life but eager for purpose. And we offered them what you never did," Sicilica added. "Respect, partnership, a place to belong." The Supreme Chancellor's scales flushed from blue to angry crimson. "You dare threaten the Galactic Council? We who have maintained peace for 10 million years." "Peace?" Sicilica's laugh was bitter. "You maintained stagnation. You built your comfortable society on the backs of species you deemed acceptable and discarded everyone else. You called it wisdom. We called it cowardice." She gestured, and new images appeared. Colony worlds thriving under Terran Dominion protection. Technological marvels born from the fusion of human ingenuity and alien innovation. Research stations pushing the boundaries of what was thought possible. "We're not here to threaten you," Sicilica said, her voice softening slightly. "We're here to offer you a choice." The chamber fell silent, every being hanging on her next words. "Join us. Bring your knowledge, your culture, your people into a new kind of galactic community, one where diversity isn't feared but celebrated, where potential isn't stifled but unleashed. She paused, letting the weight of the moment settle. Or remain in your comfortable isolation while the universe moves forward without you. Groot pulled up final images, humanitarian missions, joint scientific ventures, cultural exchanges between species that had never imagined cooperation was possible. The Terran Dominion wasn't just an empire. It was an idea made manifest. 500 years ago, you judged us unworthy, Sicilica concluded. You saw our aggression, our conflicts, our imperfections, and you were afraid. But what you didn't see was our greatest strength, our ability to overcome, to unite, to transcend our limitations when necessary. She looked directly at the Supreme Chancellor. We were banished as primitives. We return as masters of a new empire, not through conquest but through alliance, not through fear but through hope. The Supreme Chancellor's scales flickered through a dozen colors, the Vexari equivalent of deep thought. Around the chamber, ambassadors conferred in hushed tones, translation matrices creating a symphony of whispered deliberation. Finally, the ancient being spoke. You have given us much to consider, Sicilica nodded. We'll be here for 3 standard days. After that, we return to our space. Those who wish to join us will be welcomed. Those who don't, she shrugged. The universe is vast enough for both our civilizations. As she and Groot turned to leave, the military advisor leaned close. Think they'll take the offer? Sicilica glanced back at the council chamber where the greatest powers in the galaxy sat in their ancient seats, suddenly unsure of their place in the cosmos. Some will, some won't. But we've planted a seed they can never uproot, the idea that there might be a better way. She smiled. And ideas, Groot, are the most powerful force in the universe. Even more powerful than the barriers they once trapped us behind. Behind them, the council descended into passionate debate, while outside the chamber, humanity's fleet waited among the stars, patient, powerful, and ready for whatever came next. The exiles had returned, and the galaxy would never be the same.